Hello viewers and welcome to Newsroom TV. I am Makanaka Masenyama. Stories making the headlines. Mnangagwa sets himself up against Europe over Ivory trade. In the courts, jailed MDC activist Japa Japa seeks bail at the High Court. In business, health financing in dire straits as government injects $3 per person. In sports, Sundowns boss Masimane still hopeful of Kama Billiard's return. News in detail. Barely a week after President Emmerson Mnangagwa and European Union Ambassador Timo Alkonen had a near-nasty public spat over Zimbabwe's worsening human rights record, Mnangagwa has set himself on another collision course with the Western Bloc over trade in Ivory. Mnangagwa said that Europeans had no right to determine through the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora how Zimbabwe manages its wildlife. The state leader was speaking at a groundbreaking ceremony to mark the commencement of refurbishments on a 6.5-kilometer strip of tar along the Harare-Chirundo highway by the Japanese.
Chevanhu vakadya mhuka dzavo nevanhu vane mhuka dzavo. VokuEurope havachina mhuka vakapedza kudya. Asi vosvasvavira kuuya kuzotonga dzedu dziri kure dzatakachengeta. Konzi kwete mhuka hadzifaniri kuti dziurawe kana dzitengesewe seIvory. Kwa nyanga dzenzo hatina sara kamwe Ivory. Nyanga dzenzo kazi chipembere. Vanotirambidza kuti tengese. Asi voti chengetai. Dzichengetei sapocho. Teshida maranger atotrenda vanobhadhaka. Toda fence yokuti mhuka idzi vanashunga vananzou sapasa dzichida kugara vanhu dzikanganisa kugara pavanhu. Toda mari yekuita fence iyoyo. Toda mahelicopter anofamba mudenga achiona vanopocha chivarakasha. Inobveti mari iyoyo. Saka isinenge tichiti zvikumba nyanga dzenzou zvose zvakadaro izvo ngazvigadzirwe zvitengesewe tiwane mari yekuchengetedza dzimwe mhuka. Iko zvino izvi mhuka dzedu kana dziri nzou dzinodarika kuma-84,000 nzou. Asi masango atakagadzira anokwanisa kungochengeta kuma-56,000. Saka tine excess population yenzou. Asi torambidzwa kutengesa kusvika zvino kwanzi hatifanira kutengesa tikati ndezvenyu.
The latest Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species conference started on Monday in Geneva, and Zimbabwe is represented by Acting Environment Minister Mangaliso Ndlovu. There is no hope for any Zimbabwean re-engagement with the international community under President Mnangagwa's new dispensation, top rights group Zimbabwe Human Rights NGO Forum has said. Speaking at a Tuesday official launch of their special report entitled The New Deception, What Has Changed, organization chairperson Justina Mkoko said re-engagement will remain a pipe dream, adding that the new Mnangagwa regime was worse than ex-leader Robert Mugabe's brutal rule. The Zimbabwe Human Rights NGO Forum also said there must be monitoring of specific actors in violence.
We have been told about the Second Republic, we've been told about the new dispensation. What is new about the dispensation from what Tony has presented to us? And I think the report that is before us in words, images, and figures and facts, there's nothing new in relation to the new dispensation. The report shows we are still fighting the same struggles against impunity, and at this stage, if not worse. And I think that is actually quite worrying if we are saying that in this environment, things might have slid more than we had anticipated it to be. Because what we are recognizing is that violence is organized. We have continually heard about a third force or a third hand. And we continue to experience abductions and kidnappings that are happening and are carefully planned to instill fear and terror in citizens.
President Mnangagwa's administration is under fire for visiting brutalities on government, critics, and opposition activists. With just over a year and a half since he seized power from Mugabe, at least 20 civilians have died in two separate violence episodes in which the Zimbabwean army was called to open fire on protesters and bystanders. MDC MP for Mbizo Settlement Chikwinya says Home Affairs Minister Kane Matema must approach Parliament with a ministerial statement on current abductions and arrest on government critics. The firebrand lawmaker said this on a point of privilege when Parliament resumed sitting on Tuesday. Chikwinya said since 14 August this year, at least 26 members of the MDC have been abducted and tortured at night, while more have been arrested without any charges laid against them. Opposition and rights activists have reportedly been abducted, tortured, and left for dead in the past few weeks, with satirical local comedian Samantha Kureya, popularly known as Gonyati, also seized by armed men and later dumped in Harare's northwestern suburbs recently. In the courts, jailed MDC activist Paddington Chapachapa has approached the High Court seeking bail pending appeal against his conviction and sentence. Chapachapa was recently jailed for 3 years after he was convicted for inciting public violence while accusing the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission of rigging the 2018 harmonized elections in ZANU-PF's favor. Through his lawyer Gift Mtisi, the activist said Harare Magistrate Wongai Guriro Muchuchuti erred in convicting and sentencing him. Meanwhile, High Court Judge Jacob Manzunzu reserved his judgment in the matter. However, the judgment is still expected to be out by August 30. In business, the Labour and Economic Development Research Institute of Zimbabwe on Tuesday bemoaned significant reductions in the country's health financing thresholds, which have seen government investing a paltry subsidy of $3 per person, saying such patterns have a negative impact on overall economic growth. Speaking to NewZimbabwe.com Business on the sidelines of a workshop on socio-economic rights held in the capital, the organization's senior researcher Prosper Chitambara said government is currently investing $3 per every individual in Zimbabwe, which is far below the Southern African development countries' averages, hovering around $200. Chitambara added that other countries within the region, such as South Africa, are doing better as they are spending $600 per citizen on health. The remarks come at a time when most insurance companies in the country are failing to meet their claim demands, owing to the fact that most pharmacies and health centers are demanding payments rated against the United States dollar. South African football giants Mamelodi Sundowns coach Pitso Mosimane has dropped a hint that he is not yet ready to give up on the former African champions top target Kama Billiat, who is turning out for rivals Kaizer Chiefs. Mosimane has announced his team's intentions to sign 2 players before the transfer window closes on Monday. The Brazilians have made it clear that they want to bring the Zimbabwean football magician back to the club. But their statement was later slammed by Kaizer Chiefs, who assured supporters that the Warriors midfielder was staying put at Amankosi. Last month, Mamelodi Sundowns reportedly tabled an initial offer of 50 million rand plus an unspecified number of players in exchange for Billiat. Billiat is contracted to Kaizer Chiefs until June 2021. Reporting for NewZimbabwe.com, I am Makanaka Masenyama. For this and more stories, visit our website www.newzimbabwe.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel, NewzimTV.